Zina langa ndine Fatani. Iyi ndi nyumba yanga. Koma kwathu si nyumba yokha.
Fatani katowele na ndavu.
Kwathu
This is Chancellor Mozabanda with the news on Zodiac. The headlines this hour. The High Court sitting in Blantyre has dismissed Malawi Law Society's application for judicial review on the proposal by a Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament to amend the country's laws to allow paralegals represent clients in lower courts. The MLS is challenging involvement of paralegals as counsels in courts, saying that would degrade standards in legal representation. Alex Panda filed this report.
High Court Judge Justice Mike Tembo delivered the dismissal to all parties present virtually. The Malawi Law Society had sought legal intervention on the matter at the High Court in Blantyre against the move by the Legal Aid Bureau and Parliament to amend Section 14 of the Legal Aid Act. The Legal Aid Bureau requested for an amendment of the Act on grounds that it was incapacitated to handle a backlog of over 23,000 cases. Currently, the Legal Aid Bureau has 25 lawyers and 36 paralegals. Meanwhile, Chairperson for the Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, Peter Dimba, says they are happy with the outcome.
So far, from the consultation that we have had, quite a number of stakeholders, with exception to obviously the MLS, are in support of the proposal by the Legal Aid Bureau so that we make amendment to some pieces of legislation so that we allow the paralegal officers that are representing clients on a category of cases and before subordinate courts. And so when we present this report before Parliament, obviously Parliament is going to adopt it, and then we'll refer the report according to a procedure.
This means that this coming November, Parliament will continue to amend Section 14 of the Legal Aid Bureau. The Malawi Law Society has been opposing the amendment, citing that the paralegals will compromise the country's legal standards if they represent clients in criminal and legal matters in court. For Zodiac and Blantyre, this is Alex Panda.
And still with the courts, the High Court in Lilongwe has dismissed an application by former presidential bodyguard Norman Chisale to stay proceedings of his fake certificate case pending determination of his proposed appeal in the Supreme Court. Mr. Chisale is disputing amendment of his charge sheet by the state, which the magistrate court hearing the matter granted on January 11 this year. But Justice Annabel Ntalimanje in her ruling says Mr. Chisale has not provided any grounds to support his application for leave. Here is Adam Sondaninge.
It never rains but pours to Paulos Norman Chisale, private bodyguard to former President Peter Mutharika, at the High Court sitting in Lilongwe, has dismissed his application for an order staying proceedings and an order of review before the Supreme Court of Appeal in the case where he is alleged to have used a fake JC certificate to be employed in the Malawi Defense Force in 1996, pending determination of the Supreme Court. In her ruling, High Court Judge Annabel Ntalimanje says the defendant, through his lawyer, Faustino Mayele, have failed to state any grounds to support his application for leave to appeal to the Supreme Court. Mr. Chisale is fighting against amendment of his charge sheet by the state, which the magistrate court hearing the matter granted on 11 January this year. But the learned judge has described the stance taken by the defendant as frivolous and vexatious, aimed at delaying court proceedings. Reporting for ZBS News, this is Adams Clement Undaning.
The Ministry of Health says it will include the newly approved malaria vaccine on its child immunization programs to boost immunity against malaria in under 5 children. The ministry's position comes after the World Health Organization approved use of the malaria vaccine after years of tests in 3 African countries, including Malawi. Minister of Health spokesperson Adrian Chigumbe told us the vaccine will help fight malaria among children who are heavily affected by the disease. John Paul Kayuni has a full story.
On Wednesday, the World Health Organization announced it had given a stamp of approval to a vaccine against malaria for children after encouraging results from a pilot study. The Mosquirix vaccine, which has been under development for over 30 years, was experimented in Malawi, Kenya, and Ghana, reaching out to over 800,000 children. This is the first time for the global health body to take such a step. The development has brought excitement among health sector stakeholders in Malawi, as well as the Ministry of Health. Spokesperson for the ministry, Adrian Chigumbe, told us immediately they will include the vaccine on the childhood immunization programs.
As soon as we have enough consignment to roll out to the rest of the districts, it will not be a tall order because we have been doing this for the past 2 years in the 11 districts that we started with our introductory phase of the vaccine. And so all we were waiting for was the go-ahead. Now that we have it, now we're going to mobilize the necessary resources, the vaccines, and we are happy that we already have got supporting partners like Gavi Alliance. We also have got UNICEF, WHO, and other partners.
Health rights activist Maziko Matemba believes Malawi will be among the first beneficiaries, having participated in the vaccine pilot.
The pilot was done in Malawi. So if it was piloted in Malawi, it means the efficacy of those of malaria vaccine will work much better, because it means the piloting identify the individuals within the country.
Malaria is a major killer disease, claiming over 400,000 children in a year globally. For Zodiac, this is John Paul Kayuni.
The Center for Social Research of the University of Malawi has revealed that Malawi rates highly on adolescent, pregnant and parenting girls globally, which makes it hard for them to achieve goals. UNIMA's Dean of Faculty, Professor Happy Kayuni, says, for example, global figures indicate that 44 out of 1,000 get pregnant and have children, whereas in Malawi, out of every 1,000 girls, 136 fall pregnant and drop out of school. Reacting to the research findings by CSR in Blantyre, the City Council's Director of Education, Youth and Sports, Paul Chipanda, says they are already establishing mother groups to deal with the challenge. We have a report filed by Western Guta.
University of Malawi Center for Social Research says the country is described as a largely youthful population, with those aged between 15 and 29 accounting for a quarter of the population, but it has been noted that girls between 10 and 19 account for the highest pregnancy and parenting rating. UNIMA's Dean of Faculty, Professor Happy Kayuni, says, for example, global figures show that 44 girls out of 1,000 get pregnant and have children, whereas in Malawi, out of every 1,000, 136 fall pregnant and drop out of school. Professor Kayuni is thus encouraging concerted and deliberate efforts to tackle the challenge and provide sexual reproductive health messages to the youth so that they make informed decisions and go back to school.
One of the major findings of the study is that we policymakers should take this issue seriously. I think what we have done previously, like other countries where the rates are low, what they have done, policymakers, is they discuss these issues and they find ways and means of dealing with them.
19-year-old Fane Piri says she was forced out of school following the death of her father in 2018 and got pregnant the following year. And now, despite wishing to go back to school, she has no financial assistance.
I really wanted to go back to school, but then since there are a lot of financial problems at home, I can't. I'm forced to stay at home and take care of the family as well.
Reacting to research carried by the CSR in Blantyre, the Council's Director of Education, Youth and Sports, Paul Chipanda, says they are already establishing mother groups to deal with the challenge as school dropouts get high.
There's also a policy on readmission of the girls who become pregnant while at school. So indeed, in addition to that, we are also going to bang up our heads in order to find other ways and means of helping these girls who fall pregnant when they are at school.
The CSR thus says by not providing enough sexual reproductive health information to the youth for equitable quality education, the country is jeopardizing its chances of achieving SDGs.
President Lazarus Chakwera has reaffirmed government's commitment to continue supporting operations of Malawi Electoral Commission for sound democracy. President Chakwera was speaking when he received 2 reports from MEC for the 2019 tripartite elections and the court-sanctioned 2020 fresh presidential election at Kamuzu Palace in Lilongwe. He commended MEC for striving to maintain credibility when handling elections towards consolidating the country's democracy. Chimwewe Padata reports.
As he received reports of the 2019 tripartite elections and the 2020 fresh presidential election, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera said his government remains committed to foster functions of the electoral body. Dr. Chakwera said smooth operations and independence of MEC are key to not only consolidate democracy but also ensuring rule of law.
When an institution of this nature grows strong, acts independently, follows the rule of law, delivers its mandate, Malawians everywhere begin to trust institutions that are operating according to their mandate, and that trust helps not only consolidate democracy, that trust helps consolidate institutionalism and the rule of law across board.
MEC Chairperson Justice Dr. Chifundo Kachale said the institution is at a cost bound to be accountable on its duties as stipulated in the Constitution. Thus, the 2 reports cement this obligation.
It is quite encouraging to see that the efforts we're making as a commission to ensure that we discharge our mandate in compliance with the law are being recognized. And I think our commitment remains the same because all 7 of us as commissioners took an oath to ensure that we perform our job in compliance with the mandate that the law provides.
Section 6 of the Electoral Commissions Act requires the Commission to report directly to the President. This is Chimwewe Padata for Zodiak.
Meanwhile, the Young Democrat Union of Africa has awarded President Lazarus Chakwera with the Vision Leadership Award. State House Acting Press Secretary Anthony Kasunda says the award is in recognition of the President's leadership on ensuring food security and rule of law in the country. Alina Femlambas filed this report.
Good governance expert Sheriff Kaisi says the award should rejuvenate President Lazarus Chakwera and push him to step up efforts in ensuring that Malawi continues to be food secure and that his leadership is visionary.
The president must be a visionary leader, a leader who can see far from where other people can never see, a leader who can sit down and see that Malawi in 100 years coming, it should be a Malawi free of hunger. It should be Malawi free of poverty. It should be Malawi, without shortage of drugs in the hospital. It should be Malawi with the very standard roads. Malawi with a good life for the people. Malawi with good educational system, health system, roads networks. Malawi with well-developed rural areas. That's what I want to see the president.
State House Acting Press Secretary Anthony Kasunda, however, emphasizes that President Chakwera is committed to continue executing his roles in line with the award and the pledges that he has made to the people of Malawi.
He received this honor with humility, and he received this on behalf of all Malawians.
Young Democrat Union of Africa says President Chakwera has qualified for the award for steering Malawi into becoming a food secure and a nation where the law rules.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
Come to ShopRite for a more low price birthday. This year we're giving you more savings and more deals so you can fill your trolley with everything you need. all at our low prices. Like 2 500 grams flour coat fat spread margarine just 1,399 kwacha 99 tambala, and 1 kg Right Brand smooth peanut butter just 2,699 kwacha 99 tambala. Don't miss out on our more low price birthday. Only at ShopRite.
Our Lady of Wisdom in Limbe will be celebrating 100 years of existence in Malawi. The celebrations will take place at the school's grounds from 9 a.m. on Saturday, 9th October 2021. Theme for the centenary celebrations is Thanking God for 100 years of educating and empowering the girl child. A special cloth and t-shirts are on sale at the school and in Lilongwe from Mrs. Stella Kuzemba on sale number 099-518-6610. The celebrations will start with a mass by the Archbishop Thomas Lukum Susa. Come one, come all.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines again as we proceed. Now, moving on with the news, the Malawi Bureau of Standards has disposed of expired 16.5 tons of biscuits and sweets worth 50 million kwacha that were confiscated from Agrocom Ventures Limited in Lilongwe on July 1 this year. MBS Director General Simon Mandala said they received a tip that Agrocom officials were tampering with date codes of the biscuits to extend shelf life by a minimum of 12 months using a special date printing equipment they procured. Officials from the company have refused to comment on the development. And the World Food Programme says it has usefully improved food production and built resilience to climate change among 128 households in the country through its integrated resilience program being implemented in 8 districts. WFP Malawi Country Director Marco Cavalcante says results of an evaluation of the program indicate that 95% of participating households have increased crop production compared to the situation in 2019, while 90% say they are now prepared to face natural disasters. Winston Kaimira reports.
World Food Programme's Integrated Resilience Program is said to have succeeded in 2 areas of improving food production and building resilience to climate change. The project, being implemented in 8 districts of the country, has reached out to 128 households, according to WFP Malawi Country Director Marco Cavalcante. He said in Lilongwe when disseminating results of an assessment of the project that through climate change smart agriculture, 75% of targeted households harvested over 200 kilograms of maize in 2020 compared to 43% in 2019.
This program has really helped during these past years by analyzing eight studies that we've done over the past years. They all show that farmers and beneficiaries that participated in the programs have improved their yield, have improved their well-being, have had better harvests, they were better able to store those harvests, they were better able to invest in their future, the future of their children, in nutritious, in diversification of food consumption, and this has greatly benefited the well-being.
Cavalcante also said 90% of the participants reported being better prepared to face natural disasters. The program has activities that include tree planting and distribution of energy-saving stoves, just to mention but a few. This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiak in Lilongwe.
The new European Union EU ambassador to Malawi, Ron Skinibach, says its organization is currently finalizing the 7-year cooperation plan with Malawi, which will likely feed in the country's 2063 blueprint. Speaking during an interaction with journalists from Blantyre Press Club on Wednesday, Skinibach, however, said while in Malawi, its focus will be on promoting human development and poverty reduction. Blantyre Press Club President Blessings Kanache is hopeful that the new ambassador will significantly assist the country in the areas of climate, governance, and socio-economic development. Christopher Sunday reports.
The new European Union EU ambassador to Malawi, Rooney Skinberg, says his organization is committed to creating growth and human development in the country. He says EU is currently finalizing the 7-year plan cooperation with Malawi in line with the country's 2063 agenda in order to reduce poverty. Skinberg added that the EU will continue supporting and strengthening governance bodies like the Anti-Corruption Bureau, the Office of the Ombudsman, and the Office of the Attorney General. He was speaking during an interaction with journalists from Blantyre Press Club on Wednesday night in the commercial city, where he applauded the Malawi media for their role in promoting governance and accountability and fighting climate change.
When it comes to Malawi as a whole, what I think is that we will remain dedicated to the positive development which have been initiated here in Malawi. So basically, when it comes to governance, we see there are a number of undertakings now. The Anti-Corruption Bureau, the Ombudsman, the Attorney General, there are a number of governance institutions that we are supporting, just as we supported the electoral processes over the last years, and we remain committed to continue down that alley. Similarly, when it comes to creating growth, we are very much in dialogue and very serious about contributing to the growth and economic development in Malawi, and we continue our path towards the human development and the poverty reduction.
Blantyre Press Club President Blessings Kanache is hopeful that the new ambassador will significantly assist the country in the areas of climate change, governance, and socio-economic development.
These guys are implementing a lot of development projects in Malawi. So we'll be able to track these developments, to see what they're doing out there. And they've told us that it should be a win-win situation, where we've seen that maybe the developments that they're making are shady. We should be able to come and tell them that, no, why can't you do it in this way? So they're going to benefit, and us as the media, we're going to benefit. Malawi is going to benefit.
Reporting for Zodiac from Blantyre, this is Christopher Sunday.
Let's now move on to sports. The Malawi national women's football team, the Scorchers, have reached the final of the 2021 COSAFA Women's Cup following a 3-2 win over defending champions South Africa. This is the first time for Malawi to reach this far in a COSAFA competition, and also first time to beat Banyana in all competitions. They will now face Tanzania in the final on Saturday. And that's about what we had time for in this news edition. But before we go, a look at the headlines. High Court dismisses Law Society's application for judicial review on proposal to allow paralegals represent clients in lower courts. For more news, my name is Chancellor Mozobanda. Thanks for watching.
Like every mom, you want the best for your child.
Happy birthday.
You feed her mind and nurture her body. And you understand there are times you have to let her pick herself